Hey, Obi, how are you? It's Happy New Year, I guess.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too, James. How are you today?
Great, thanks. Since we last chatted, Obi, you announced the appointment today of Adam Wolf as the Chief Operating Officer. Tell me about the strategy with Adam and his background.
Yeah, we're really excited to bring a gentleman like Adam into the fold. One of the big challenges, at least historically in cannabis, has been, bringing in really strong talent. And as you see the industry continue to mature, folks like Adam are willing to, join up with companies like Grown Rogue. We searched really, really hard to find the right executive to help us as we continue to scale into multi-state and really kind of put better controls and process around our existing operations. So he comes with a great background from the Wonderful Company, which is a very large floral provider. He worked at MJ Packaging as their COO for a number of years. So we're really excited to bring him into our expanding team.
You bet. Okay, so tell me now again about the business model of Grown Rogue. How are you differentiated from others in the industry?
Yeah, we're really focused on multi-state expansion. A lot of companies are doing that and kind of following a similar model. But we really start very simplistically with the why. And the whole why for Grown Rogue is about curating the right experience for the consumer. And so that's the entire focus of Grown Rogue, all the way down from our executives, all the way down to our operational team, is to ensure in the products, the relationships, every touch point that we have provides the right experience to our customers.
You bet. All right. So how many customers are you servicing in the current mix, and how much are you going to get to by the end of 2019?
Yeah, so right now we're in about 50% of the dispensaries inside of Oregon. So we touch about half of the market inside of the state we're currently operational. And that includes growing since we launched our first products at the end of 17 at over a 20% monthly compound growth rate, and arguably the most challenging market in the US, likely the world. And so what we intend to do in Oregon is continue that expansion. We hope to be in 70 to 80% of the dispensaries by the end of the year, 2019, as well as continue our multi-state expansion. We just announced licensing down in California, and we are actively targeting several opportunities in the Midwest.
Fantastic. Is the signing of the Farm Bill something that has had a positive impact on Grown Rogue's business prospects going into 2019?
That's a great question. What you're seeing from that is the general acceptance of cannabis across the world, the US in particular. What you're seeing is a series of milestones that we overcome. The Farm Bill is a big step in that direction by reducing or eliminating CBD as one of the scheduled narcotics in the US. We're also seeing things like the States Act come through, which is trying to put more regulatory structure around the banking system in the US. And you see a continued trend around additional states legalizing. I mean, Utah, Oklahoma, very conservative states have legalized medical. Michigan just legalized recreational. New Jersey is considering it. So you continue to see an overwhelming force of legalization across the US.
Yeah, you bet. Do you think that 2019 is the year that we see legalization federally in the United States?
Uh, I don't know if we'll see it that quickly. Obviously, that would be a big boon for a lot of the operators who have positioned themselves to take advantage of that through exports and really establishing their brands in a much wider geographic footprint. But my prediction is we have a few more years before it's fully legal across the US.
Oh, I see. All right. So then what is Grown Rogue going to accomplish in 2019 that's really going to excite its investors?
Our big focus, as I said, is taking the platform that we built in Oregon with a over 20% compound monthly growth rate, which translates to over 200% growth per year, and taking that platform in probably the, most challenging market in the world and transforming it, translating it into these other markets that we're attacking. We think with our team, our expertise, our ability to navigate through the transition from medical to recreational, we're as well or better positioned than pretty much any company in the US to really capitalize on that expansion and the opportunities that are coming across the US.
Sure. So you've got both indoor and outdoor growing operations. Is there a qualitative difference between what you can produce indoors versus what you can outdoors, both in terms of the quality relative to THC, CBD content, as well as the quality relative to subjective elements like mouthfeel, flavor, smoke, smoke intensity, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, that's an age-old question that I think will be debated forever. Obviously, being in the Rogue Valley of Oregon, which is in the Emerald Triangle, it's one of the most well-renowned agricultural regions for cannabis in the world. And we have a preference for outdoor production here, mostly because of the climatic effects. We produce better terpene profiles for sure than what you can produce in an indoor environment. We just set what we believe is a record in the state for potency with outdoor product. We had testing that was above 35%, which is a state record, at least for our laboratory. That being said, indoor still has an optical illusion to the consumer of being a higher quality product, mostly because of the way it looks. We expect that to continue to change as the consumer becomes more educated and mature in their understanding of what they look for. And you're really seeing a shift from, potency, look, appeal to the terpenes. And terpenes are really what create the experience and the effect. And going back to what I said earlier, Grown Rogue is so focused on the experience the consumer feels that terpenes are a big part of how we focus our manufacturing company.
I see. So tell me, how do terpenes sort of affect the overall experience in terms of the customer?
Yeah, we look at it that terpenes, and this is scientifically proven, are more like the steering wheel is the best way to describe it. Your potency is the gas pedal, if you're using a car analogy. That really creates the impact that you'll have. But, like for Grown Rogue, we classify all of our products into 5 categories: relax, optimize, groove, uplift, and energize. And it's really the various terpene profiles within the individual products that allow us to categorize, our different inputs into those categories.
Mm-hmm. All right. So then, are you going to expand into other states as well? I know you had California sort of in your sights there.
Yeah, we've secured licensing in California in a facility in the Humboldt region. It's in Eureka. It's a 16,000 square foot facility. We have our distribution license issued by the state and the local municipality. We've also applied for our retail and our manufacturing licenses there. And then we will be announcing the second or the third state that we'll be moving into in the Midwest, probably in the coming weeks. We expect to have 3 by the end of 2019, and then our team is actively and aggressively looking at other opportunities that fit our timing, the need for a team in these states we go to. We really have a very systematic way we look at our expansion process.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Is there anything coming down the regulatory pipeline that makes you nervous in either Oregon or California?
I don't think there's anything that makes us nervous when we look at it. I mean, obviously, California is going through their transitional period where they go from medical to rec. There's a lot of chaos as people become regulated. You have to comply with metric and all the compliance components. Oregon's pretty stabilized at this point. They've restricted the amount of licenses that are being issued, which obviously helps the businesses, be more successful in terms of limiting the competition. But we don't see any regulatory hurdles or structure inside of either of those 2 states that are causing us concern going forward. If anything, we look at them as opportunities.
Well, great. All right, Obi, let's leave it there for now. We'll come back to you soon. Thanks very much for joining me today.
Thanks, James. Appreciate your time. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.